BaconBit.
Yes, it's October, everyone. We love October.
Now, you may recall we had Lindsay on the show doing pumpkin spice taste tests.
It almost seems like the same night.
It almost does.
Yeah. Hey, Lindsay, how's it going?
Good.
It was very melodic ghost.
Yeah, that's good. But Lindsay's here basically, so the last time Lindsay was on last year when Lindsay was on the show.
Woman Crush Wednesday.
It was just in November.
In November, yeah. And it was,
but we recorded in October.
Yeah, but we're obsessed with horror here. It's why we do a whole month every single year of October themed of scary shows.
Yeah.
And I realized it was a misstep to not have you on in that month. So we had you on with not a scary concept or topic at all. But after we recorded, it was about 12:30 at night when most people should be asleep. Mm-hmm. We stayed in the bacon cave.
Just like tonight.
Exactly.
In a room just like this.
And for about 2 hours, told scary stories. And by that, I mean, we listened to Lindsay's scary stories. This is Jacob, Joel, and myself.
Yeah, Jake's not here right now. Jake, we miss you if you ever listen to this.
Because like a normal person, he left at a normal time.
Yeah.
But the stories were amazing.
Yeah.
And we kind of want to share it with the audience here.
That's just it. I really wish we would have just recorded that night because I love swapping scary stories and getting kind of Halloween feel. And that was one of those fun nights. And so we were hoping, Lindsay, that you could just regale us with the same kind of stories that you told that night and some of the same stories.
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Is that enough of a lead in? We're like, now entertain us right now.
Dance, monkey,
By
dance.
the way, we have turned off the lights. There's a pumpkin spice candle over in the corner there. Which
the same one.
Mood lighting, I don't know, from weeks ago.
Really good candle.
But yeah, so we try to create the mood here. I'll throw in some scary music in the background. But it seems like you've been haunted your whole life.
Yeah. I kind of have. And I don't know if it's my whole family or if it's me. I kind of think it might be me. Because I've had some stuff happen just since I've been on my own, too. In fact, I'll tell you a short story from just a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
So I am a co-owner of a business. We have an office in Sandy in Union Square. It's an older shopping center. Mm-hmm. And I have pulled a ridiculous amount of all-nighters in this place. I've spent a ton of time there alone. The whole building, our office is inside a building. You go up some stairs. It's all enclosed. Lots of other offices in there. And I have no problem walking around with the lights off in the whole building, being there by myself. I'm not scared of it at all.
Well, I was going to ask you. So you said you've had a lot of experiences in your life with these types of things. Do they scare you, or are you kind of just used to them now?
Yeah.
So Lindsay's the person that surprised me by saying you don't get scared in any movie.
Oh, never.
I've tried to think of the ones that have messed me up that, Joel, you're not quite ready to watch yet, to be honest. And Lindsay, I'm like, hey, have you seen this? Have you seen this? That kind of creeped me out. That was a slow burn horror. And you're like, I laughed in that one. I'm like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, no,
what have you experienced to make you feel this way?
Well.
Yeah, and so?
Yeah, I'll watch, name the movie that scared you the most. I'll watch at 3 a.m. by myself.
Yeah, for example, like Hereditary from last year. I really dug.
It was ridiculous. I
That's
laughed.
so funny. So you're in your office building.
So you're not scared?
No, I'm not scared. I have been scared in my life by things like this, but so I'm in the office working, and I think I was actually making some copies of a DVD. For
legally?
Yes, it was for
it's a backup copy.
A production I had filmed. I was making copies for one of my clients, and I had been there, most of the day. It was starting to get dark, and I hadn't turned on the lights, and everyone else in the building had left. So the lights are off in the hall, the lights are off downstairs. Like, it's all locked up. It's just me there by myself with Jack, the sparrow.
Right.
And
Jack is at your place of work?
Yeah, he lives at my office.
Oh, okay.
Because I have Giles at home, and maybe not the best thing to have them together. Yeah. So I'm sitting there, it's starting to get dark, and I'm not really thinking anything of it. I'm sitting on the floor in we have a little kind of recording studio in there, sitting on the floor in there, and I keep hearing like knocking, and I keep thinking, oh, it's, it's someone downstairs or it's someone out in the hall. And then I hear knocking on our door, and I get up thinking, oh, someone needs something. I go open the door, and there's no one there. And it's pretty distinct. It was really close to where I was. It was very much a knock on our office door.
What time of night was it?
Oh, probably about 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Not super late, but all the other businesses are closed.
Right. So no one would be in that building.
No. And my mind was telling me, it's someone downstairs, and I'm just hearing the knocking upstairs somehow. But it was very close. But I'm just kind of whatever, go back to work. And then I hear like footsteps in our office.
Like inside your office?
Inside our office, because we have a wooden floor, kind of a pathway down the center of our office, and then it's surrounded by carpet on the outsides. But if you walk on that wooden floor, it just kind of has a very distinct noise, and I'm kind of just laughing to myself, like, well, that's super weird. Why do I hear footsteps? And then I am sitting across from my own desk, and my chair moves slightly.
Ooh.
And I'm like, okay, there's no wind.
Right.
There's no way for that chair to move, and I'm 20 feet away from it.
Right.
And I texted my business partner and I said, I think we have a ghost. And he said, I was there late last night by myself and I kept seeing like a shadow on the wall of a person walking by.
Wow.
Jeez.
And there was no one there. And he said it was really freaking me out. And I said, well, my chair is moving by itself. So I still really, whatever, grabbed the DVDs that I was putting together, went and sat on the couch about 5 feet away from the chair. And my chair has a very distinct sound. When you sit in it, it kind of creaks. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there, the chair moves again slightly and then starts creaking like someone's sitting in it.
Oh, God.
What? Wait, are lights on in your office?
No, I was sitting there it was, you can see light from the parking lot. So it was light enough that I could see what I was doing.
What's your first instinct? Do you turn on music?
No, I
this point?
I said, hello.
Great. Invite it. Sure.
Because I want to know who it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I texted my business partner and I was like, it's sitting in my chair. I'm trying to get it to talk to me. And he said, well, I'll bring a mop and bucket tomorrow to mop up your remains.
Exactly.
But I mean, because you said movies don't scare you, but does stuff like this, do you get scared by this, or is it kind of just like, well, it's happening again, no big deal?
I'll get like the chills, like it'll make the hair on my arms stand up and stuff like that, but it doesn't scare me. I mean, it's not going to do anything to me. So my only concern was like, I don't want it to scare my bird, right?
Yeah.
So I said, as I left that night, I said, if you are here just to observe and you're just lonely, whatever, you're welcome to stay. If you are here to cause harm or mischief, please leave. Nothing's happened since.
Do you think, have you talked to anyone else in the other offices, or would that be crazy?
Honestly, there's a lady there that's very into like Reiki and massage therapy, and she has like crystals. I honestly should talk to her and see if she's noticed anything.
I'm sure she has.
Yeah.
Because if it's only visited you a few times.
So wait a minute. You said, if you're here to cause mischief, go away.
And it left.
Went away.
Yeah.
So it was a mischievous.
That's my assumption.
Well, if it wants that much attention, right?
Yeah.
Because
and for it to have never done anything before and then to suddenly start doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just looked out the window. I got scared.
I know. I'm facing the windows.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Okay.
But
so
like you've done things like I've known you've gone to the UK, you've gone to Europe, you go to crypts.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll do the ghost investigations that are just pretty intense and very historical. It's my dream. But like you don't get scared. You want to explore and find and communicate. If you will.
I feel like I almost invite it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And would you say like what's your success
don't
rate?
invite it into the bacon cave.
Like what? Yeah. How much success do you have with that? And by success I mean, how haunted are you?
I feel like the times that I've chased it, I haven't gotten really much of a response.
Mm-hmm. Like Ken's dating life.
Yeah.
Zowie.
But I'm the same way when I do ghost investigations. Like when I was the bait, like I was brand new at it, I'm like, I want to see something because I'm a skeptic, but I sure want to see if it's real. And nothing happened for a few years.
Yeah.
And then when I least expect it, I'm scared to death.
Yeah, I'm not scared to death, but things do happen when I'm not expecting
You're
it.
tougher than I am. It's fine. Yeah.
For instance, in college, I was in a show and there were just a few of us in the show. I think there were 6 people in the cast, all female.
What was the show?
It was called When Shakespeare's Ladies Meet. So it was kind of a fantasy show where basically all of the strong female characters get together and try and convince Juliet.
Like the Avengers, Shakespeare's Avengers, right?
Pretty much, yeah. They all try and convince Juliet to not do the Romeo and Juliet thing. Like, you're young, don't do this. Life is worth living.
Good.
And it's really kind of a fun, cute show. It's only like 45 minutes long. So the only male person involved with the show was our director. Mm-hmm. This was either a performance or a final dress rehearsal. I'm fairly certain it was a rehearsal. I don't remember like audience clapping and laughter and stuff like that. Maybe the show was just really bad. But I was the last character to go on from the side of the stage that I was on. And I think there was one character that came on after mine. And I was just sitting in the wings waiting. And from around the corner of one of the curtains steps out this man. Very well dressed. Had his hair very slicked back. He was wearing glasses. He had a mustache. And I thought, who the heck is this?
Yeah.
Like he's in a suit, very shiny shoes. And he just kind of smiled at me. And then I turned back and I was watching. I've got to go on in a second. I don't want to miss my cue. And I turned and looked again before I went to go on stage, and he was gone. And I just figured he'd left, or, I thought maybe he was someone that worked at the college that had just popped in, or anyway. After we get finished that night, I said to the director, so who is the guy backstage? And he said, what guy backstage? Mm-hmm. And I said, well, was it somebody's dad, or like, does he work at the college? Who was he? And I kind of described him, and he says to me, who told you to say that?
Yes.
And I'm
the
like,
best.
What? What are you talking about? And he said, who put you up to this? Someone told you to say this to me. Mm-hmm. And I'm swearing, right? Like no one told me to do this. I saw this man and he looked really nice. He kind of smiled at me. He grabs my arm and he pulls me down the hall, stops me in front of a painting, and it's the guy.
Oh no.
And he says, is this him? And I said, yeah. And he says, this is Elmo Gary. He's the man this theater is named after. He's been dead for very, very, very many, many years. Yeah. He's not here. And I said, well, yeah, he's here. And I saw him several times after that. I remember one time coming up a spiral staircase, and I got almost to the top, and I see these shiny shoes and then some really nice slacks. And as I look up, he just kind of went away.
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
Man.
So if he is haunting that place, is he showing himself to many people, or is it because maybe you're an empath, right?
Yeah.
Would you classify yourself as that?
Yeah.
And like, would you say that to you specifically he appeared to?
Because I don't know anyone else who physically saw him.
Okay.
But other people have seen him because,
yeah.
It's just certain people, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
So, this sounds like, at your place of business, at your where you're acting and things like that. But, has it ever affected your home life?
Many times. The first one I remember, we were living in an older house, and quite a few things happened in this house. One night... When
you say we...
this was my whole family. So my mom, my dad, and my younger sister.
Okay.
And I was big on the slumber party scene. Like, I would have 20, 30 girls come and stay over.
Wow.
And we did not have a big
terrible.
house, but we would have 12 of us sleeping in the bed, feet, head, head.
Geez.
People on the floor. It was pretty cramped. And one of those nights, I had a big group over, and I woke up and one of my friends was gone.
How old were you?
12.
Okay.
And I got up and went looking for her and couldn't find her anywhere in the house. It kind of freaked me out. Looked outside. She's not outside. The last place left is the basement. And it was an old, creepy basement, unfinished. There was even a root cellar.
Oh, wow.
So this big wooden door with the medieval bar that comes down. You open it up and inside it's dirt. It looks like somewhere you'd bury a body.
Never went down there, even though it was your home.
No, it was creepy,
Yeah.
but fun to go check it out.
And had you had experiences before, or was this kind of one of the early
Not
ones?
that I recall. I might have, but not that I recall specifically. And it's one of those that's, it's just the slat stairs and there's space under the stairs.
Nope.
So you automatically assume something's going to grab you, right?
Cut you. Yes.
Grab your ankles.
And so I go down there and she is standing at the bottom of the stairs, eyes closed, saying, I know. They're all here. We're all here.
I got the chills.
And I went back up the stairs because I'm really scared.
Yeah.
I don't get her. I don't know.
12, right?
I don't know what. Yeah, I'm 12. I don't know who she's talking to. There's nobody there, but she's talking to somebody. And so I go and get my other friend, and I'm like, "You gotta come help me." And she comes, and the same thing's still going on. She's still having a full-on conversation. And we finally woke her up, and she had no recollection. She didn't know what was going on. So that nothing. I didn't see anything. Nothing specifically happened to me.
Plenty.
But same house, probably. Maybe the same year, a year later, I am laying on my couch and it's night. It's dark. The lights are all off and I'm not watching TV or anything. I'm just kind of laying there. and I see what looks like the brim of a fedora standing in the entryway of our house, which the couch faces.
Okay.
Wait, you say brim, like it was standing in the doorway and just the brim was poking
And all
out?
I could, because there was kind of an alcove almost that a person could hide back in this little spot.
Okay.
But it looks like the brim of a hat. And I'm thinking, it's late. I'm just seeing things. And it kind of leans forward and you see a man's head.
Oh my gosh.
And a man's shoulder. And
just peek their head out.
And yeah, he just kind of leans.
Like that Chris Hansen gif, just like someone poking their head out
Yep.
and being like, hello.
And he just leans and looks at me. And I just looked right back.
What? Could you see features or?
I could see eyes and a nose.
Oh god.
And that's what throws me off is the consistency of it, because if I've seen something, it's pretty fleeting, right? Like I'll see something, but not many features, just kind of a shape or colors of clothes.
And it's gone when you start to focus on it.
Yes, precisely.
But you're
I could see him as well as I can see you right now.
Oh
wow.
my gosh.
And he just looked at me for a second, and then he kind of leaned and went away. And I just laid there and waited, and a few minutes later, he did it again.
He's playing peekaboo?
And this went on for hours. I mean, I've got
Wait, hold on.
pretty severe chills.
Yeah, me too. When you say hours, were you frozen?
No,
on the couch?
I wanted to know what he was going to do.
What? So you were 12
You
or
didn't
13 at this
move?
point?
No, I just laid there and I figured he's either going to come out and we're going to have like a showdown, or he's going to go
Lindsay,
away.
I don't get this.
But wouldn't you like say something?
I'm fairly certain I said hello to him.
That's when you say, Mom. That's when you're just trying to get out of there.
But I mean, just like maybe just playing peekaboo. Maybe just
Yeah, no, I think he
hello.
was just curious. He didn't seem like he wanted to hurt me. So then same
Wow.
house. I probably around the same time, because I think we moved not long after this. I was in my bedroom, and those lamps in the 90s that were the touch lamps?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They were like all the rage, right? I had one of those right next to my bed.
So wanted one of those.
I loved this thing, and I had the most spectacular 90s bedroom. It was hunter green and burgundy with gold accents.
Awesome.
Yeah. I thought I was really, really grown
Same
up.
house, right?
Yeah, same
Okay.
house. I had just gotten in bed. I know it was a school night, so I'd gotten in bed fairly early. And that lamp was the last light on. Laying in bed, kind of pulled the covers up, and I thought, okay, it's time to go to sleep. And I reached over and tapped the lamp 3 times to turn it off.
Right, because it goes brighter, brighter, brighter off.
Yep.
Yes.
And I'm laying there, and my eyes are still open, and out of the side of my right eye, I see 2 hands reach up over the side of my bed.
Jeez.
And they put themselves across me hard. And I grabbed the blanket and threw it over my head, and I sat there like
Did you like
frozen because I didn't know what to do. And then I finally just reached my hand out and tapped the lamp 3 times, and it was gone.
wait? So tap the lamp 3 times to turn the light back off, or turn it?
Or I
on?
guess I must have just tapped it once to turn it back
on.
on, but 3 times to turn it off.
Plus, you're going to be a
So
little
wait,
bit panicked as well.
Did you? Okay, so you saw the hands when they went down. Did you feel them on
Yes.
you as well? Oh god!
And they were
Did it feel like just
they
long
were red.
arms, or did it feel like someone was kind of ascending up your bed and then
Yeah.
hands across
Yeah.
Did
you?
you say they were red?
They were red.
Oh my gosh.
They were
bright
red.
red.
Bright red.
What in the world?
Yeah. I still see them like it was yesterday.
I have crazy chills right now.
The hair on my back of my neck is standing up.
So you don't, because a lot of people, we've talked about this on the show, you don't suffer from sleep paralysis, because I have a lot of friends and a brother who kind of, they get stunned, right?
Mm-hmm.
They see something or something's in their room next to their bed and they can't move at all. And it just kind of stares at them. But like, it seems like you were totally
Oh,
cognizant.
I was awake. I wasn't even asleep
Right.
yet. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I had just turned the lamp off. I was just laying there trying
Right.
to fall asleep.
But then what do? I mean, you turn on the light, but then
I turned on the light. I think I probably turned on my TV.
and then fell asleep that way. 'Cause
Yeah.
I wouldn't turn off the light again.
Yeah, I don't think I did. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure I left the light on. But
But you still remember this.
oh, very, very well.
It's definitely not a dream.
No.
Oh man.
No, I remember telling
So-
people about it the next day.
Yeah. Like, so when you told your family, what was their reaction like?
They weren't surprised. So it probably,
Okay.
I mean, I feel like stuff like this probably had happened earlier, and I just don't remember it as well because it wasn't as significant, maybe.
Yeah. Like, have you talked to your mom about this stuff over the years?
So my mom has actually experienced at
Okay,
least
that's what
one
I
of
was
the
wondering.
events.
Right.
Well, there was another house that we lived in after my parents split up. We moved into another. Price has a lot of old houses, and that's where I grew up.
In Price, Utah?
Price, Utah.
Where is Price, Utah?
It's southeast of
It's on
Salt Lake.
70, right?
Like if you're going to Moab, you're probably going to drive through Price.
Okay.
Well, last time I went to Denver, I went through Price.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
smaller town.
Small
Yes.
town. It's an old kind
Speed
of
trap.
mining town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, total speed trap.
Right.
Yeah. Slow down. So we had moved into kind of a cute little older house. It was near the college, and it had a basement apartment in it that when we moved in was rented out to some college girls. So we were used to hearing like noises downstairs and stuff. After they moved out, the noises continued.
Well,
Oh.
And
this is like, so the former house and this house, they're both in Price.
yep.
Okay.
when you say noises, are you talking like muffled, like?
Or like or walking or
Like walking, like doors closing, like windows opening. I mean, like
Like
someone's
your-
living there.
your office chair being sat in,
Yeah.
stuff like
Yeah.
that.
No big
And
deal.
you would go down the stairs. Our laundry was downstairs. You would go down the stairs, and footsteps would follow you down the stairs, or follow you back up the stairs, or
Oh, it's the worst.
You know that's everyone's biggest nightmare. That's why you don't
That's why
turn the
you run
lights
up the
off.
stairs.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, standing doing the laundry, you could feel someone standing right behind you, watching you. There was a curtain that separated.
It was just the bear from the
It was the
fabric
static
softener.
electricity.
Fabric softener bear.
Yeah. Snuggle.
Snuggles, yeah.
There was a curtain that separated that apartment from our laundry area, and it would move like someone had just parted it and walked through.
Curtains are the worst.
Yeah.
That's why they invented doors.
Yeah, doors creak.
Yeah, but doors can stay closed. Curtains, it's just like any
Can they?
second.
Can they? Sometimes no.
Well, you'll hear about a door in a second.
Yes.
Oh, no.
So I have to preface this whole story about this house by when we first moved in, I moved in by myself first. My mom.
You were about how old?
I was 16.
Okay.
You moved in by yourself first?
Yeah, my mom and sister were still kind of getting their stuff together.
You've always been pretty independent,
Yeah.
right? Yes.
How far away was it from the other house?
I don't know, 5-6 miles.
Okay, so like
No,
they
I mean-
were coming. It's just
Yeah. So I was doing classes at the college at the time, and it was really close to that, and so I just thought I'm going to go early so I can just get up and go straight there. It's a lot closer than the other house. And I didn't have all my stuff, but I had, a lot of my clothes and things like that. And I took everything to the house and was just sleeping on the floor in my bedroom. And the first night there, I had a dream, just a dream. I don't know that this actually happened, but I had a dream that there was a man who hung himself in the closet of my bedroom.
welcome.
And
Yeah.
the first night. So yeah, I mean, just weird things would happen in the house. You just never felt alone, regardless of whether you were or not. It also had one of those doorbells that you could program to play stupid songs,
Yeah.
Right.
and it played da 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 da,
Beethoven's.
Yeah.
which we hated, but the thing to change it was painted shut, and it was a rental, so we weren't gonna mess with it. We just
Yeah.
left it as it was. But we had this kind of tradition every single night. It was just me and my mom and sister living there. And after the college girls had moved out, there was nobody else there. We had this tradition every night of going and locking the front door together, just to kind of like
Yeah. Triple
make
check.
sure, right?
Yes.
And we all know this is done. We're all safe. It's all fine. There's no one here to protect us but us. So everyone's double checking.
Right. So you'd all go
And-
there together, like march up there,
Lock the
lock
door.
the door, and then prayed back.
Yep. And then go in our separate bedrooms. And my mom and sister shared a bedroom, and it was kind of across from mine. And at night, a lot of times we would leave our doors open and just kind of chat until we fell asleep. And one night there was a really bad storm, and the power had gone out, and so we were all just kind of creeped out. So we had candles burning and stuff like that just to kind of light things up. And we all went in and checked the door together, made sure it was locked, went to bed. I had blown out my candle. I was asleep, and we hear on the front door.
Okay.
And it's late, right? It's like 1 a.m.
And there's
So,
a storm outside.
Yeah.
Right then. Okay.
so who's knocking at your door at 1 a.m. On a weeknight?
Nope.
I don't want to answer the door.
No
And
one should.
My mom
No.
says, "Did you hear that?"
From across the hall.
Yeah. And I
Okay.
said, "Yeah." And she said, "Who is it?" And we hear, and so we're like, all right, someone's actually there. And so I get up thinking, right, I'm going to at least go like look through the window and see if I can see who it is. And as I'm getting up, the door opens. Our front door, which
one you locked.
We have locked. We know. And it had a doorknob lock and a deadbolt.
How quickly are we talking opening here? It was like a big boom, or was it like a...
It was like a...
Oh, God.
And I freeze.
Yeah.
Right? Like, who can get in? Who is this? Like, we're doomed.
Yeah.
And it's quiet for a second. And you can hear the wind in the background. And then you hear a man's voice say, hello?
Oh.
And I
like from the front door?
From
or
the
like,
front door.
That was his cadence?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I ran out of my room. I'm like, my first instinct was to protect my mom and sister. So I ran out there to figure out who it was, and there's not a soul there. The door is wide open. The screen door is wide open. Nobody. So I close the door, lock the door, go back in my room.
By yourself? You went
Of course you did.
By
Not
yourself.
jump into bed in their room.
Well, I mean, I would get the parade. I'd get
in.
the brigade to go and lock the door with me again.
Yeah.
I went back in my room, and the doorbell rings. Mind you, the power is out. The doorbell rings, and it doesn't play da-da-da-da, it plays da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Oh, my gosh. Daisy?
I'm half
Daisy,
crazy.
Daisy, give me your... That's the song that Hal sings when he dies in 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
Oh, and it drones like
and
that?
And it drones off. It had never
God,
played
get
that
chills
song
again.
before.
Yeah.
We had no way to change the doorknob or the doorbell sound.
Oh my gosh. So right after you check it, you shut the screen door, you lock the door. No one's here. I don't know what's going on. You're probably facing them, and you hear the doorbell go off. Go.
That's terrible.
Yeah. So my mom definitely has experienced some stuff, but mostly with me. So I'm probably
You're the lightning bolt. You're the conduit. Wow. That is creepy.
So what do you yeah, I'm just wondering what it is, because many things are trying to make themselves manifest to you, right? A lot of people, like, because we do ghost investigations, we have to go searching for something. We have to go somewhere specific. There are people I've talked to that have, maybe they think it's poltergeist, maybe they think there's like a residual haunting in their home, but you're very sensitive to this.
Yeah.
And do you think that's whatever may be out there, right? Unexplained. They know it?
Maybe. I mean, I think some people are maybe just more open to it. And I'm also not afraid. So I don't know if they know I'm...
I have to ask, did that presence feel threatening, the one at your house, or was it just a curious, maybe former resident who was just trying to figure out who was in his house?
Yeah, it never happened again. It scared me in the sense that I was afraid for my family.
Like mortal danger kind of a thing.
Yeah, I was more afraid that it was an actual person.
Yeah.
Than some sort of entity of some kind.
So obviously you're more afraid of actual like creepy people.
Yeah, like I'm more afraid of Ted Bundy than I am of a ghost.
Yeah, because
Ted
someone
Bundy
that
is
could
a
actually.
ghost, so.
Okay, Ted Bundy, if he were alive now. But I'm actually more fascinated by him than afraid.
Yeah.
You're basic.
But well, we've covered that, right? But still, you do look into this. I know you love horror films. You go ghost hunting. You will try to talk to a spirit that's in your office. Like a lot of people would just totally avoid that at that point. Like they try to cut off that sensitivity to it. Yeah. But you're kind of unfazed at the same time. Would you say that helps you deal with fear? Like knowing that this will probably happen again? Yeah. Or repeatedly? You've kind of dealt with it? Like you're prepared?
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to hurt me. I've actually had what I would say is probably a poltergeist experience in an apartment that I lived in by myself, where it did do some physical things to me, but I don't know. I'm not dead, so
yeah.
Like it injured you?
Yeah.
Well, go on.
Now I have to.
I mean, like we were like, it's a long bacon bit, but go on.
Okay, so Holiday, Utah, not far from here, right? I'm living in an apartment. I lived on my own starting at 18, so I was probably like 24 at this point. I'd lived on my own a long time. I'd lived in this apartment for a couple of years. Nothing had ever happened. And then one night, I'm sitting in my living room and I hear the girl downstairs screaming just at the top of her lungs.
Like angry screams or like scared screams?
Like terrified. Like something horrible is happening to this person. And I'm like, do I call 911? What should I do?
Right.
And then it was kind of late at night. So I thought maybe she's just having a nightmare. And it kind of goes away and calms down and I don't hear anything else. And then I can hear other noise downstairs. So I'm sure she's okay, right? I probably should have called the cops.
I heard a thump.
To check on
I heard
her.
a body dragging. She'll be fine, I'm sure.
But then I saw her the next day. She was out in the hall. She was fine. A couple nights later, the same thing happens. So I'm like, all right, this girl's probably got like night terrors.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And she moves out probably 6 months later. And that next week or so, things start moving in my apartment.
Yeah.
Like I would come home and things would be in a weird place. And at first I was blaming it on Giles, like, you know, messing with things when I'm not home, like kitchen cupboards. I would come home and they were all open.
That darn cat.
And things would be knocked over and just kind of random stuff. And one night I'm sitting in the living room watching TV and Giles is watching something like it's walking. And then he like raises up and starts hissing, which Giles never does. And that actually did scare me because like he's really freaked out. What is going on? And I can see nothing and I'm not really even sensing anything, but he is very disturbed by it. And that happened kind of a couple more times where I could see him watching something that wasn't there. There was one night he's sitting in front of me a few feet and we were kind of playing and he all of a sudden looks up at me, hisses and lunges at me, which very aggressive, not like him. And he lunges past me. He like jumped over me and chased off something. I have no idea what it was.
Jeez.
And at this point, I'm starting to think something is weird. Like Giles is watching something. I'm feeling a little less comfortable alone in this place. And within a few nights, I'm laying in bed trying to go to sleep. And all of a sudden there is something by my bed. And it's not shaped like a human that I've seen before.
Right.
It's very unclear. It's frantic and frenetic and it reaches out and it grabs my leg and it raises my leg
Like paranormal activity?
Right up in the air.
Hard up into the air.
Jeez.
And then I feel this like rake down the back of my leg and I had scratches on my leg. And this happened.
Where was Giles?
He was hiding.
Yeah.
But this happened several times where it would like grab and hold and it was hard and it hurt. Like it would just squeeze like my feet and stuff like that. And I started researching online, like, what do you do? How do you get rid of something bad like this?
Yeah.
And I read that you can literally command them to leave.
Yes.
And so
You have power over them for sure.
Yeah. So I came home from work. In fact, I, as a 20-something-year-old adult, called my mom one night and said, please come over.
Yeah.
I want to see if anyone else feels this because I don't feel safe in my own apartment anymore. And she came over and it was all of a sudden it was so peaceful. It was very, very strange. But I came home from work and I grabbed Giles and I went in my bedroom because that's where it seemed to be the angriest. And I said, you are not welcome here. I command you to leave this place. Nothing ever happened again.
Okay.
Wow.
Jeez.
Man. Oh, Lindsay, I know there's so many more questions I have and so many more stories I'm sure you have. But we probably ought to wrap it up and maybe save some more for another time.
Yeah.
But thank you. I honestly, like, I love just sitting around swapping scary stories with people. At least we like things scary here at Bacon Cell.
Right.
And I don't know, you have a very good way of telling stories too.
Yeah,
so
I'm sorry you're so haunted.
Yes.
Hey.
Yeah.
We've all
You seem
got
to be doing okay with it,
I'm
though.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you ever need Ghostbusters, you know who to call.
There you go.
Ghostbusters.
Us?
No. call
Yeah,
Ghostbusters.
not us.
Yeah,
Not
don't say
at
who
all.
you're going to call Bacon Cells. It's who you're going to call Ghostbusters. But thank you.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for
Anytime.
listening. This has been Bacon Cell with our guest, Lindsay. Curtains are the worst.
Yeah.
That's why they invented doors.
Yeah, doors creak.
Yeah, but doors can stay closed. Curtains, it's just like any
Can
second.
they? Can they? Sometimes no.